What is up, everyone? Happy that you stepped by. Welcome to this week's live stream. Of course, here this week we're here all for the new ultra-wide 1080p gaming monitor, and more of that just in a moment. But of course, MSI live stream is not complete without a MSI co-host, right? And this week we actually have Michiel or Mike joining. So let me just do my thing and call for Mike. 3, 2, 1.
Hi,
Mike.
everyone.
So here's Mike. Of course, why are we doing this? I mean, first of all,
Social distancing.
Yeah, I mean, you're like right here, like I'm staring at you, but I'm not actually staring at you.
Yeah, you're there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, of course, we are doing the social distancing, right? So we gotta behave and make sure that we can contribute to the whole resolution of keep your distance. So here in the studio at MSI2, we are trying our best to still keep the distance and try to provide for you guys, still every week a nicely done live stream.
Yeah, if
So
you're
here we
both
are.
physically behind the table, then it's a little bit less than 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd just do it like this.
Exactly. So that's why you also see, in Mike's name tag, there's like a little house, That's because Mike right now is at his house. So he's not here. We did our best to imitate that he is right here behind the desk, but he actually is not. So
I wish
even
my
though,
house was as cute as it is in the visual. It looks cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike, happy that you joined. And yeah, guys, so what can you expect today? So we will rather tell you all about what the new gaming monitor is all about, the ins and outs. We show you what the outside looks like, every inch of it, and then I will demonstrate for you guys what the features are and explain to you guys, hey, what's different here, what do we improve and stuff like this. And then of course ending with Doom Eternal gameplay. That's such a chaotic game. I mean, I tried it out for quite a few hours now, and I must say, the more I play it, the more energy I get. Usually, I get like more tired the more hours I put into it, But this is like totally different. But
Doom
yeah,
is such an old franchise, but like the new game, it looks insane.
Of course.
It's like totally ready for 2020.
Yeah. I can attest for that, yeah. And of course, like always, you can also participate in our $20 Steam giveaway. So if you go to msi.com/2/insider, and well, we have a visual right here actually somewhere moving around, and just go to the link, and if the link doesn't work for you right here, in the chat, we have the bot, spamming the direct link every 6 minutes, so you can keep the chat. Just keep an eye on the chat, and you can still participate. And if you already participated, you'll be in the winning pool, well, the drawing pool for the entire duration of the live stream. So don't worry if on the first, second, third try you didn't win. There's still a good chance that you might win on another try. So don't worry, and just go register, perform your actions. Good luck. So Mike, let's go. Okay, so let's see. There are quite a few people in the chat already. Of course, guys, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for the chat the best I can, and Mike too. So if you
I can also see
get
the chat,
anything, yeah, it's just like he is right here. Like there's nothing
Edwin
different.
on air is saying on Twitch, "Whoa, this looks like almost like Mike is there."
Yeah, I mean,
we faked it pretty well, didn't we?
Finally, I can punch him in the face like without any consequences,
And I can still pet Lucky. Lucky's somewhere right here.
Yeah, just hello? Like I can pet Mike. Yeah. All right, guys. So all right, let's get kicking. So far so good. All right. So here in front of me, I already have like the box, kind of like sneaking into the live stream. So we're going to get it out of the box for you guys, and. Well, of course, nothing spectacular to be seen here. Well, the shipping of this kind of stuff, it's never. Let's just say it's never soft. So as you can see, there's quite a few dents on the box. Fortunately, the monitor is all good. So let me just get this.
That's
thing,
why there's a lot of protection inside of the box.
Yeah,
to make sure the monitor survives.
So I'm just gonna get this thing off the box because unboxing this thing on the table is really, really, really. A pain in the ass. So Let me just get the stuff out. So actually, yeah, we in the past we've had a few of this kind of, let's say, ultra wides, and well, this is actually just on its own level because of its format and aspect ratio, and especially if we take a look at its refresh rate, which we'll come to in just a moment. So what will we get when we take the stuff out of the box? Of course.
You just touched my arm, guy.
Did I just touch your arm? Sorry.
Virtual touch. Repo Man is saying on YouTube, MSI, tune in and see why the new 21x9 MAG301CR game monitor is the perfect fit for you. As you watch it on a monitor that doesn't allow you to see the true details of it. Yeah, we will show you all the details with cameras, and we will do some widescreen capturing in Doom, so you still get an idea what it's like.
Yeah, no worries, guys. So I'm lending a bit space from right in front of you, Mike. So yeah, of course, what can you expect when you get this kind of stuff out of the box? You know, the usual suspects. I'm not going to get into details regarding this kind of stuff. You know, you get display cable, HDMI cable, your power cable, your instruction manual with VESA mount screws in there. So if you don't want to use the footing, you know, you can just screw it on the wall. So let me just get rid of this.
Or if you do a multi-monitor setup, you can put like 3 on a triple arm. There you can get.
Save a lot of
space.
Have
widescreen.
Yeah. The footing. So of course where it has to be attached to.
Zeno Ultra is asking, is it 360 hertz? I don't think there's already 360 hertz for ultra wide monitors, but it does have, in especially general. For ultra wide. Yeah, you have them, but not in ultra wide yet. So later on, it does have a really high refresh rate. Later on, we'll talk about all the technical details of this model as well.
So let's get this out of the box. I mean, out of the protection. All right, almost there. So I'm just going to assemble this for you. First, let me just put this down for safety reasons. So this part is usually really easy. Well, here we have 2 parts. You just have to connect them on the lower side, and we had 3 screws that came with the package, and you have to screw them in from down here.
Giant screws. Don't lose them.
It's gonna be fine. So if we put in the 3 screws right here, 1, 2, and 3, and you're set. You know, nothing really too exciting happening here. The good old setup before you can use it. All right, so any questions for now?
Edwin on air is asking, how many curved screens would you need to get a full 360 degree around you? That depends on a few factors.
Wow.
Of course, the size of the monitor, but also the curve of the monitor, the curvature.
Yeah, the curvature.
I don't know for this exact model. We would have to calculate that. But yes, of course, you can get a full 360 degree around you with a curved ultra-wide monitor, yes.
I mean, you're going to need one heck of a gaming PC to power that up, that setup. But yeah, I guess anything is possible, right? If you really try.
Technically,
right now,
it is possible.
If you have attached this part to each other, all you have to do is no more screws. It's a click-in system, so you just click it in, and that's it. And voila, you have assembled the monitor.
And that's convenient. Like for example, when you go to LAN parties, I always have to assemble the foot to my monitor with a screwdriver when I go to LAN party, because in transport I separate them from each other. So that's always very annoying when you have to screw everything together. So I really like the fact that you have like a click system. Hey, there we go. So you can just click it in easily. Edwin K is asking, is this a VESA stand or different size? So the stand itself, I don't think it's a VESA standard, but it comes with a mount, so you can still use the monitor on a VESA compatible stand.
Exactly. So as you can see, this one is fully rotational in every direction. So And for those of you who still prefer to use a monitor vertically, even though it's curved, well, now we have finally gave you that option. Because with this one, yes, you can turn it around like fully vertical. So if you have any infographics or nice statistics or just your stream chat, now you can still use this one.
You can put a lot of chat lines on it.
Oh yeah. I mean, if your eyes can read this much, then you're probably not doing too well in your game. But hey.
How would gaming work like that? We should try
I'm not sure. I've never tried playing a game on this kind of format while standing vertical. I think that's going to be really, really, really weird. But
instead of 21:9, it's 9:21. Interesting
exactly.
aspect ratio to game.
So someone is asking 440 hertz. I think that's a little bit too far reached for now, technological wise. No, so this one is 200. More details for that regarding that later. I'll show you all about it. Any other questions for now? Looks nice, the borderless design frame. Well, yes, you paid attention. So as you guys can see, indeed, we kept our usual frameless design. So everything looks like it's one surface. Well, of course, for the chin, except for the chin.
Yeah, so you can see on both sides and the top, the bezels are really thin. And especially if you're using a multi-monitor setup, you really want especially the side bezels to be as thin as possible.
Yeah, definitely. IPS VA, so yeah, I guess a lot of questions regarding the specifications of the monitor. Well, all right, so it is VA. So let me see what's any other question. The resolution, well, this one has the 2560 by 1080. Any other question? Will you guys be making the monitor in white? Actually, I don't believe we will, but I can't say for certain, of course. I mean, if all of you guys are going to be screaming, we need this version in white, hey, perhaps our headquarters might just listen. It's hard to get them to listen, but you might be able to do it. We do have white monitors, but they're not meant for gaming, so they're more in our content creation section. So you don't have the white versions, but not for this one yet. Okay, so let me just continue with this for now. So yeah, you've seen the front side. Let me show you the back side, because the back side is quite different than what we are used to from our gaming monitor lineups. Here we have a really clean setup. I already touched it several times just now with my fatty fingers, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, the whole surface is kind of like matte finished. And here we have our shiny optics curved gaming label. I think this adds a really good touch to it, but that's just personal preference because it really stands out, because this is like the shiny part mounted on top or into a matte finished surface. And in the middle, you can see there's like a rounded finish. And if I get this closer to the camera, you can see that it's from a different kind of material. Well, that's because this is actually our Mystic Light. So the entire rounding is Mystic Light.
The RGB circle.
Yeah, I mean, RGB can't really miss that one nowadays, right? And here we have also...
In the Lion King, you have the Circle of Life, but we have the Circle of Mystic Light.
Good one. So here we have our MSI, kind of like a bit tucked away, low-key, the MSI logo. So that's for the backside, and of course, like always, this iconic little 5-way joystick, which you activates the on-screen display, which later you can also tune into different kind of macro settings, keys, so to speak. You can press left, right, up, down, or you can just press center. So here you already have like 5 macro keys that you can set up, but I will show you that later with the gaming OSD that we'll use. So the connections, let me show you the connections.
I already saw a couple of questions about this in chat.
Okay, so what's the chat saying right now? Let me see.
Yeah, they were asking about what kind of connections the monitor has.
Okay.
So that's
All
quite a few
right,
of them.
so we're lined up, thought-wise. All right, so here, I hope you guys can see clearly. From my perspective, this is quite clear, but yeah. Let's start here. So of course here, let's start with the power connection, DC connector. This one comes with a with its own power connector with a brick, and then you know, here there is the USB in. So this is the upstream for your USB. And then we have 2 times USB 3.2 Gen 1, followed by DisplayPort and 2 times HDMI 2.0s. And here we also have Type-C. And then as last, the audio jack. So this
Type-C is an interesting one, right?
Yeah, so the Type-C here is also a display alternative. So you can use this one to plug it directly into your GPU if you have the connection available or the port available on your GPU, and then you can also use it this way to use your monitor to connect it instead of with Type-C instead of HDMI or DisplayPort. And you can also use it for charging purposes because it's also a power outlet. So multiple uses with the Type-C, and seeing as Type-C gets more popular day by day, especially now in 2020, I think it's always good to just have this extra option available to you, which is right in front of you anyways.
Marcel is asking on YouTube, does it have an extra power supply or a built-in one? This one comes with an extra power supply, and it's always a bit of a trade-off because you can integrate it into the monitor, but that always makes your monitor quite a lot thicker. So yeah, some people prefer it inside the monitor and have it a little thicker. Some prefer to have like a thin monitor separately and being able to hide their power supply, for example, under their desk or anything. So yeah, it's hard to say what's best. Some people prefer it inside. Some people like to have a thinner monitor and don't have it inside in the monitor.
Yeah. All right, so that's for the outside, the connection. If you have any question regarding that, you can still ask me, because if not, I'm going to attach all the cables, and after that, I'm going to be really reluctant to, move it around. So guys, if you have any more questions regarding what you want to see on the outside, ask them now. I'm going to give you some time.
Pierre Place is saying on YouTube, get a tape measure. I don't believe that's 6 foot social distancing. Well, I'm actually at home and Jazz in the studio, so there's plenty of space between us. So he can get right in front of me, no worries.
This is like the only time where this is okay right now, because Mike is not here, okay guys? I know we did really good, mimicking that Mike is actually here, but let me just be clear, if you just joined, he's not here, all right? Mike is here, but he's not here. I mean,
I'm at home. We are social distance for about a 1-hour drive at the moment. So we're good. That's also why the little house is in my name tag.
Exactly.
So
don't worry, guys. We're being very responsible. I mean, the only reason why Mike is not physically here is because of the situation, right? So we're trying to, obey
this is
the
our
regulations.
Solution to still be able to do a stream together.
Yeah, it's just weird. Every time I try to turn to the right side and try to talk to you, I'm like, hey, there's Lucky, but where's Mike? And then I look in front of me and then be like, oh, wait, yeah, Mike's not here.
I'm just here.
Yeah. Let's see if any questions.
Pierre says, oh my God, I was fooled. Good, then we faked it properly.
That's how good we did it, huh, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, it's also part of acting, right? Because I'm looking at you, but I'm not looking at you.
I can easily make myself disappear, like.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, whoa, come back. All right, there you are.
I'm back.
So, guys, please don't mind, but it seems like I'm going to be repeating this quite a few times throughout the streams because, there are always new people joining and they haven't heard any of this before. So they might be wondering, hey, why are they sitting so close to each other, right? So I'll be repeating this quite a few times throughout the stream, just saying Mike is not here. And the best way to show you this is by performing our magic, like Mike is gone right now. And Mike is
I
back
think my timing
right
was
now.
off. Yeah.
A little bit, just a tiny bit.
I was too fast.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Oh,
Guys,
try
so,
a high
okay.
five. Okay. Somewhere like here?
3, 2. Yeah,
Oh.
okay, let's do it again.
Difficult,
3,
difficult.
2, 1.
Yeah, almost.
Close enough, close enough. I mean, guys, come on, we didn't practice this part, okay? So you can't blame us for not being in sync, okay? It's really difficult. I mean, he is not even here. We just have to guess from the camera where he is going to high five his hand.
We need to practice our virtual high fives.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, let's see. I
see
mean,
a question from
yeah,
Jessica Jones. Does it have
awkward.
picture-by-picture and picture-in-picture, the monitor?
Yes and yes. I'm going to show you how to do that with our gaming OSD software in just a little bit. For now, all right, let's continue. So I guess there's no questions regarding the outside of the monitor, the exterior, so to speak. So let me just now move on to the interior, the features, the specifications, you know. All the questions that you're gonna have regarding this monitor are going to be answered now. For this, I do have to say I made a little PowerPoint for you guys to go through, because this will be the easiest way to give you the visual stimulus and the focal explanation to give you the best possible explanation. All right, so let's get into the PowerPoint. Let's get it over with as soon as possible. So this monitor right here, my head is like blocking HDR already, but now you know. So just give you an overview, what kind of situations, what kind of specifications and what kind of features the monitor has. It's a wide Full HD. Well, it's a difficult story there, but we're just going to call it ultra-wide 1080p, okay? But there seems to be a technical term and a common term, and well, let's just make it easier to say that this is a ultra-wide 1080p. Agree, Mike?
Yeah, basically it is like the width of the resolution is what you know from most 1440p monitors, because if you have a 16:9 monitor, they're 2560 by 1440. So the width is comparable to that one, but the height is comparable to a regular Full HD monitor, so 1080p. And that gives you an ultra-wide aspect ratio.
Yeah, see, so there were quite a few questions. One guy gave us a suggestion saying, we should put a name tag mic somewhere near you, saying not actually here, because he said that some people might not understand the little how thing in your tag that means you're not here. I can get behind that. Not everyone pays the best attention to what the house actually means. So sure, yeah, next time we'll definitely keep that in mind. Someone asked.
Maybe we need a small at in between, like at and then the house.
Yeah. Okay. There was another question regarding where was it? Where was it? I think I missed it. There was another question. Let me just try to see what the other one was. It was quite a good question, if I remember correctly. Where is it?
Mr. Maxidux is saying, I look a bit too small. Need to enlarge this image with a few percent, or I can just move a little bit more forward. Better? I should be slightly big.
Yeah, so someone asked if this one has the headset hanger built into it, because for in our previous models there were, like, for example, the the MPG 301CR. That one also had a headset hanger among other models, but this one actually unfortunately not. So no headset hanger in this one, but yeah, I would definitely try to see in future models, maybe try to implement this more and more. If you guys really appreciate this and think that you really would like to see this in every monitor, hey, let us know. We're always open, happy to see any feedback. What is the price of the monitor? Well, Mike, shall we tell them? Well, actually they should already know, because first of all, this is a premium sneak peek, okay? It's not on the market yet, guys. So this market
first time you're able to see it.
this monitor hasn't been launched yet, because in 2 weeks' time it's going to be launched. But being MSI Insiders, we gotta have some inside information for you guys, right? So here we are presenting the monitor to you because this is quite a exciting model. Seeing the resolution and the size of it. And well, as for the price, I can't give you like an exact price yet, but let me just say the price will be priced in between $320 and $400. They say, no, let's just say $320 and $380. So somewhere in between there, depending on where you are, how your tax situation is, the imports, the taxes and stuff like that, and your inland taxes and stuff like that, and what your retailer is going to be suggesting might differ. So it's somewhere in between there, 320, 380 euros.
Yeah, and it's just a suggested price, so the retailer can decide their own price, and especially now with the current coronavirus situation. And that might skew the prices a little bit. Some products are delayed a little bit in terms of shipping, so it's best to check with your local retailer also when it will be available and what the exact price at your retailer will be.
So admin said he was Googling, tried to see what the price was, but then he realized, oh, it's a sneak peek. Nice try though, nice try. Always ask Google if you don't know. Let's see, any other questions? No, nothing. All right.
I saw an interesting question. Let me see if I can find it back. Xeno Ultra's asking, is it G-Sync compatible?
Okay. So it's not officially labeled G-Sync compatible, but actually
so it's not
we have
a certified monitor.
No, it's not.
But
certified,
you have an
so
NVIDIA GPU in the system you're going to use for Doom, right? So we can try it out.
Definitely. So later I'll also show you how, and actually, we already did like a little sneak peek in-house, let's say, testing with our colleagues. So we already have an idea what this monitor can do when we apply G-Sync, but more of that later because I have the whole thing lined up for you guys as a demonstration. Is anything else for now? No, I guess not. Oh, how long will it take till it will be on sale in MSI South Africa?
That's really impossible to answer right now.
I would love to answer that for you, but I really don't have that information available right now. It's just logistic-wise right now at this moment is also just one hell of a chaotic case, so very difficult to say. You might have to check back in like 2-3 weeks time. We might have a better answer for you then.
Yeah, and usually your retailer will have a better view on that than we have.
All right, so continuing. All right, the monitor, 2560 by 1080, and there's our Gaming OSD 2.0 available. I'm gonna show that later. Of course, still curved gaming monitor with 1 millisecond response time. Something that really stands out here is that it has a 200 Hz refresh rate. So not your usual 144 Hz and even the 165 that's becoming more of the new 144 standard. This one has 200, so close to 240, which is like close to a competitive gaming level.
And this is especially for an ultra-wide monitor, this is very high.
Yeah.
Usually you see that they have slightly lower refresh rates than what you can already get at 16:9. So you saw that many, for example, 1440p ultra-wide monitors, in the beginning they were 100 Hz. Nowadays, already going higher at 144, 165. But this monitor goes all the way up to 200 Hz.
All right. So yeah, good luck informing regarding the South Africa situation in South Africa. That's a good one. So what else? Yeah, the monitor also comes with our latest software innovation, the night vision. More about regarding that just in a little bit. Yeah, also Mystic Light, like I mentioned earlier, the circle on the back is still a Mystic Light. I'm the FreeSync, and there's also the full rotation that I showed you in the beginning. So the adjustable stand is also here. You can turn it into every direction that you want, and also just use it as the vertical monitor, if we will. HDR ready, so improved contrast and the dynamic aspect of the monitor with shadow and light. So yeah, many features to talk about and specification regarding this monitor. So let me just continue. So first of all, of course, this aspect ratio, 21:9. So the 2560 by 1080. You know, a different term for this, which is also used, is wide full HD, but we prefer just you know, call it ultra wide 1080p to you guys to make things more clearer, since that seems to be, you know, what people are more accustomed to for, you know, associating 21:9 with ultra wide. So this one is the ultra wide 1080p. If you compare this to the traditional 16:9 1920 by 1080, you can see that it's quite a significant increase in screen size. So it's roughly approximately 33% increase in screen real estate. So that's what this comes down to. So it's not just full HD, so 1920 stretched all the way to, you know, 21:9, something like that. No, you actually get more pixels, you get more screen real estate. So that's I guess something, you know, we had like previous models where we had like 34 inches in the ultra wide, and well, I guess for people, you know, that don't like that huge kind of format, well, this is more the compact version for you. So at 30-inch, you have a ultra wide 1080p. So if you like it more compact, this is a better fitting for you. So besides that, let's see. So the refresh rate, something else that really sticks out here, 200 Hertz refresh rate. Now, if you compare this to, because a lot of people are still, believe it or not, gaming on 60 Hertz monitors, and I really like just recommend you, I mean, you would too, Mike, right, to just really try out what kind of difference this will make. It's going to be, you know, like heaven, and it's just such a big difference, because I remember when I was gaming on 60, it was just, you can't really describe this kind of satisfying feeling of how smooth and sharp everything looks when you're moving around, moving up to like 144 even. So with 204...
It depends very much on the game you play also. Sometimes I play a game like Anno 1800, there it doesn't matter as much if you play on 60 or 200 Hertz. But in fast shooter games, if you play Quake, Counter-Strike, fast games like Rocket League, there it makes a huge difference whether you're playing at 60 Hertz or if you step over 100 Hertz or even 200 Hertz, it's a blessing compared to 60 Hertz.
Definitely. Somebody asking, does it have blue light filter? Yes. So in pretty much all of our models, we have standardly applied the anti-flickering filter and the blue light filter. So yes, this one too. So let me see any other questions. All right, so far so good. So in essence, what this means is that with 200 Hertz, you're going to have so many more frames per second. So hence, you know, what the illustration is trying to tell you. With 60, you have like sort of like a picture by picture, so a frame by frame movement per second. And with 200, you're going to have so many more in between. So that's what makes the image so much more smooth and sharp when, especially during motion, fast motion. So here, let's just give you the animated version of the example. So with 60 Hertz, it feels like, you know, it's kind of choppy if you really slow it down to see it. And then with 200, it's going to be so many more frames that that is going to look much smoother. So that's what it comes down to. And here we have a real video of how this is going to work. Oh, I skipped it by accident. All right, so if you pay attention, so even though here, well, we don't have the exact 200 Hertz in the model, but you can imagine that this is going to perform better than the 144 Hertz, but not as well as the 240 Hertz. So you can still see how this will compare with 60 Hertz, which, you know, like I said, a lot of people are still using. So it's really choppy, and here it's just so much smoother, and you're going to see this and notice this once you're really playing, yeah, like Mike mentioned. So if you're not playing strategy games and stuff like that, it's not going to matter that much. But if you play fast-paced gaming titles, and especially competitive, this will make so much more difference.
Also in a game like we see in the example now, Unreal Tournament, in games like that, it makes a huge difference because of the high pace, looking around there, you really benefit from the smoothness.
Yeah, so what this translates into is that when you move, there's going to be like blurry kind of vision for you, but now this blurry kind of vision is going to become more sharp, and so when you're moving around, you can see better. So sometimes when you have, when on a 60 hertz refresh rate monitor, when you move around, you can miss a lot of stuff during that movement. But now it's much more easy for you to spot things and to see when you're moving. So that's the real benefit here. You're gonna see more.
Also, if you, for example, have a 60 hertz monitor and you don't have the opportunity to try out a high refresh rate monitor and you want to know what refresh rate essentially does, then something you could do is, for example, put your monitor to 30 hertz, so half of what your monitor usually does, and just move your mouse and you can feel the difference. So it's a very basic idea to see what it's like to have a higher or lower refresh rate on your monitor. So you will lose a lot of smoothness if you put it to 30 hertz. And you can expect the same when you go up from 60 to 120, 144, or even 200 plus hertz. Then it will get smoother and smoother and smoother.
Yeah, that's a good tip that Mike just gave you guys, so you can try that out if you're still gaming on low refresh rate monitors.
Just to give you an idea what refresh rate essentially means for movement on your screen.
Yeah, so Mr. Masterdog just said that, well, gaming on Rocket League, he also noted it makes such a huge improvement. And yeah, definitely Rocket League is one of those titles. Mike, that's like one of your favorite games, right?
Yeah, Rocket League's good.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very fast-paced, always a lot of action.
All right, so it seems like we have been blabbing on for quite some time now. What about, let's do a giveaway first to see who the first winner is.
That's a good idea.
So
for the people who didn't participate in the giveaway yet, you can also go to msi.com/2/insider. Our chatbot also spams it in the chat every once in a while, I think. Should do it at least. And let me see who the first winner for today is.
Oh, I see our colleague Peter, not the MSI Insider Peter, but the other Peter who also joined our live streams actually.
Our virtual reality live stream.
Yeah. So he is also in the chat. Well, he is an IT expert. So if you guys have any questions, nah, don't overburden him. He has to work.
So I have our first winner of the giveaway.
Ooh, who is it, Mike?
And the winner is, at least the nickname of this person is Russ1. Congratulations, you won our first $20 Steam wallet code. So we will send it to you in the coming days. If you have already participated, no need to do anything. You can just wait and hope you get lucky in the next drawing. If you didn't participate yet, go to msi.com/2/insider and make sure, to join our giveaway there.
Yes, good luck, guys. On another note, I think we're having some kind of technical difficulties with Facebook chat. So if you're watching on Facebook right now and you're feeling like we're ignoring your questions, we're not. We're just having difficulties receiving them, okay? So we're trying our best to solve it if we can.
And if you want to join the conversation, go to YouTube, go to Twitch.
Yeah, we have many more
Periscope
channels.
Many channels where you can join.
So if you just go to YouTube, that'll be the best one, easiest one for now. Just go for MSI Gaming, our channel, then you can see it's already promoted right there. Or just type in this stream title on YouTube, you will find it. So yeah, if you want to join in on the conversation, go there right now. And don't feel left out because we're having troubles, I suppose, because I don't see anything right now. But all right, continuing. So the curvature of the monitor, well, this is a 1500R curvature, and you sometimes see these kind of numbers, so like 1800R or 3000R. What this stands for essentially is the radius. So the smaller, so the more curved there's going to be. So you can imagine that when it's bigger, so it's like 3000R, the curvature is going to be more flat. So it takes a lot longer to make a whole round. So that's like the radius of 3 meters, so 3000. And now so 1500 is like the radius of 1.5 meters. So you can imagine that circle it's going to be smaller than a 3-meter circle. So the smaller the number, the smaller the radius, the higher the curvature. So that's how you should like remember it. So every time you see that a company is like promoting with these kind of numbers for curvature for screens, you will know that so the smaller the number, the more curvature there is. And 1500 is really very closely matching, you know, our natural field of view, so our eyes, how they perceive the world. So why this is important is that this will provide you with more eye comfort while you're using your screen. Also make it more immersive because it feels like it's just much more natural because the sides, you know, they're coming towards your field of view. Or rather your point of view. So this makes it more immersive and more comfortable to use. So there's going to be less fatigue. So yeah, of course, on the left side, if you're really young, you join the live stream, I'm pretty sure you might not even know what like, okay, on yours, yeah, it's on the right side, but on my side, it's like the left side. So the CRT monitor, Mike, I think you still remember it, right?
I definitely do.
Yeah, it was like
my
in our
back
time.
still hurts from dragging those monitors to LAN parties.
Yeah. So it's just trying to give you an overview of how this changed throughout the times. It used to be the curvature is like inwards, and now, well, outwards rather. It depends on how you look at it. And then it changed to flat. We had flat screens, and now they're becoming curved, so curving inwards towards you. It's quite a change, but it's all for the better because there are real benefits to the curvature. So here with this monitor is 1500R curvature, which is, you know, quite curvy. If you like curves, this is definitely a good one. So as for the panel, you know, there were also already questions regarding this. Of course, you guys wonder what kind of panel it is. It's like VA panel, and here we're trying to give you a illustration of, you know, what type of panel is like kind of good in what type of work or what kind of field. So VA panel is still really good for gaming, for multimedia. So you know, before IPS got good, like 2 years ago, you know, VA was like really kind of like dominating in gaming compared to IPS. But IPS started to improve much more. That nowadays, well, if you want more productivity and you still want to have good gaming experience, IPS is like the better choice. Well, not better choice, but might be the more suiting choice. But of course, it's also bit more expensive than VA panels because there's more R&D costs in there for the last few years. It's still relatively new, and achieving this kind of stuff costs money. But VA is still excellent. There's still absolutely nothing wrong with VA for gaming. It's still excellent. So yeah, if you prefer to have a gaming monitor that's really just top notch and you don't really do much productivity work, you know, this is like a good fit for you. So that's for the panel. I have any questions for this, I'll just drop them in the chat.
Also, next week we're going to do another live stream about monitors and more about all the different types of monitors that you can get right now. And then we'll also dive deeper into this to really see for what kind of usage, what kind of panel would suit you best. Because it's not necessarily that one panel type is the best overall. It's really dependent on what you do with it and what's important to you. So definitely, if you're in doubt, for example, which monitor to choose, make sure to tune in next week as well, because then we will talk about this in a lot of detail.
Yeah, definitely. So the chat, man, the chat is like really going off, and Peter is really keeping up with the chat, answering quite a few questions. Thanks, Peter, I guess. Let's see if there's any questions for us from this side. All right, nothing for now.
Peter is saying, "Are you that old, Mike?" I'm always making jokes about Peter's age, so he's getting me back here.
All right, so as for the adaptive thinking technology in here, this is a FreeSync model. I know somebody already asked, is this G-Sync compatible? Well, it's not certified as G-Sync compatible, but I'll show you later if or how you can still kind of use this, because that's still applicable. But for now, let's just tell you guys, if you're new to this, what does FreeSync do? So FreeSync is a variable syncing technology, and this one makes sure that let me just play the video. So when you're moving, that your So when your screen refreshes, it can be that it's tearing up or there's stuttering, and that's because there's a mismatch with the FPS coming out of a GPU compared to how your screen is refreshing at a constant static rate. So then, as you can see here, you see that the frames, they're not lining up properly. And when you use FreeSync, this will make sure that the syncing becomes variable, which is also my point here with this slide. Now, the FPS coming out of your GPU and the refresh rate from your panel, from your monitor, they're aligned. So instead of walking past each other, they're like aligned every frame by frame. So this will make sure that you have a smoother gaming experience, also stutter and tearing free. So if you're experiencing this kind of stuff while gaming, so I highly recommend you to use a syncing technology that's available to you, because I'm not sure what kind of setup you have. You might have G-Sync or FreeSync, so you need to just try out that kind of syncing technology. So night vision, I mentioned this briefly earlier. Night vision is, we're trying to get this into all of our gaming monitors that came out in the past half or 1 year. So night vision is something that's going to be really beneficial for you if you like to play AAA titles where there's much more realism in the world. So at night, some places are going to be really dark, or if you walk into tunnels, there are going to be dark places and stuff like that. I'm not saying that in, for example, competitive titles there are no such situation. There can be, but just much less. So if you're playing these kind of games where there's a lot of dark places, well, this is going to solve this kind of detail loss in dark places, because night vision will scan the image intelligently and make sure that it doesn't overexpose the entire image by showing you more details in dark areas. So this will only look for the dark areas to light up the details there. So really great feature if you enjoy this kind of
chat. Let me quickly go through them. Mr. Mestark saying, still I love CRT, colors and contrast were awesome, different resolutions look good, just the weight was a problem. Yeah, I actually have been using CRT on purpose for quite a long time when LCD screens were already quite common, but I didn't really want to go back to 60 Hertz. So I've been using my CRT until it really died on me, and then eventually I bought a 60 Hertz LCD monitor. But I'm really happy to see that nowadays high refresh rate monitors are way more common, way more accessible. So no need to do 60 Hertz anymore. Edwin is saying, Hardware Unboxed says IPS cannot get 140 Hz only in super overdrive. IPS is getting really fast nowadays. Like in the past, IPS used to be a lot slower than especially TN panels, but nowadays they're getting extremely close.
Actually, we had a live stream like quite a few weeks ago regarding our newest IPS monitor, which is 240 Hz.
At the end of January, maybe. Yeah, I think two months ago, approximately. We had a live stream about this indeed, and 240 Hertz on IPS actually goes really well already. We have multiple overdrive settings for this. So you can use regular overdrive, which I think is the sweet spot between not losing any image quality because of overshoot and getting fast response times. If you really want the fastest response time, you can go for the highest overdrive setting, but then of course you will get some overshoot. Or if you're, for example, doing more color accurate work on it and you don't care about response times, you can of course switch overdrive completely off. So it's a bit dependent on what you prefer. You can also set different profiles. So for example, you can have an overdrive profile if you're playing a fast first-person shooter, and a profile with overdrive completely switched off if you want to do image or video editing, for example. So it really, you can set it to your own liking for what you're doing at that moment. Let me see what we have more in chat. How heavy is the monitor? Do you have an answer to that, Ja?
I might have to look that up. That's I'll get back to that later.
Can you guess?
Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna guess. But
Ashit was asking, when will the next stream be? So the MSI Insiders live stream is every Wednesday at the same time. Depends on your region, of course, what your time zone is. But same time as we're streaming now, we will be live again next week. And let me see. How am I saying on live stream on March 11th? I was chosen to be the first winner. Haven't received my prize. Check my inbox spam folder. There's no email for me. Is the name you're using on YouTube also the name you used when you were signing up for the giveaway? Because then we can
Wait,
look up where it went wrong.
Who said that? I can see that in the comment section.
Halma on YouTube.
Weird.
So please drop in chat with what name you signed up for the giveaway, then we can look it up and maybe try to
also make sure that
again.
you check your spam folders and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure that I sent out all the codes a few. Yeah, pretty sure. So you should have it if you.
Let us check. Just drop your nickname you
yeah.
signed up with, and we will try to see where it went wrong. Mr. Master still saying, usually the gains getting from overclocking aren't great and usually goes at the cost of image quality. Yes, if you're really overclocking your panel to a refresh rate that the panel was not produced for, then you will eventually run into artifacts. That's not something you want. So I wouldn't recommend going over the 200 hertz of this monitor. And as 200 hertz is already so high, I don't think there is that much need to overclock a monitor like this, personally.
No, it's definitely not needed. I mean, it's not really comparable with when you squeeze out like 10% gain only with a CPU, you know, there's going to be some noticeable difference. But not in this case. Someone is asking max refresh rate. Yeah, so this is a 200 hertz refresh rate monitor and VA. Yes, indeed, VA. Good guess.
Mr. Masterlock is also saying, all these functions on monitors, I never used any of those. I wonder how many people do. Does anyone use these low blue light, night vision, and black tuner functions? I personally use it in some competitive titles, especially a function like night vision can make it slightly easier to spot your enemies in certain situations. So it can give you a slight competitive advantage. That's also why, for example, I pump up the brightness in Battle Royale game modes and stuff like that. So it's essentially easier for me to spot my enemies, especially from distance. Low blue light, I really like that when I use my computer in the evening. Like before you're going to bed, it's better to reduce like the time.
Yeah, so it will not disturb
you're
your
watching at a screen
rhythm.
with yeah, exactly. Because it will be harder for you to get to sleep if you've been watching a screen that's showing a lot of blue light. It's basically bad for you if you do that directly before you go to sleep. So it's better, especially in the evening, to reduce the blue light in your monitor to make it easier for you to get to sleep later. But of course, it's personal preference. Some people really don't like the look of it because your screen will look slightly yellowish compared to what you're used to. So you don't have to use it, of course, but the option is there. So if you do prefer it, then definitely go for it.
Yeah.
Yoni is asking, is this MSI's highest hertz monitor at the moment? No, this is 200 hertz model. And we also have several 240 hertz models right now, but not in ultra wide yet. So if you like the 21:9 aspect ratio, then 200 hertz is the highest refresh rate we have available right now.
Yeah, so what the minimum type of GPU and CPU the screen needs, kind of, I think that's the question. I actually have a dedicated infographic, well, something I put together for you to answer it right just that in just a moment. But for now, I guess we can continue. So here we are, answering your question, more or less. So yeah, if we compare this to like the standard, let's say the traditional 16:9, 9020 by 1080, it's going to be a 33% increase in pixels, so the entire space and the pixel count. So what this means is that essentially here I have like a few examples, but what it means is that when you have your current GPU and you know that on average it produces like X amount of FPS, you need to deduct like 33% from that FPS count, and then you will have your answer. That's what you would get with this kind of monitor on 1080p. So just a few examples right here. We have like the 2080 Super getting like on average. So here the numbers, they're like derived from like an average of like 30-ish games. So, with some titles it can be significantly more or significantly less, but remember this is like an average, so every game title will kind of vary from time to time. But on average, like a 2080 Super gives you like 153 frames per second, and on the average Full HD, so 16:9. But now if we then go to the 21:9, so this format, you get like a 33% deduction, so you get to around like 103.5-ish. So that's like the context here. If you want to find out, if you're interested in this kind of format and this specific model, you have your current setup, then you can kind of make like the math as to how you can handle this monitor with your current setup. If anything is not clear for this, just ask them in the chat and we'll try to answer them. So I guess some positive feedback regarding that 200 Hertz is nice.
Ashutosh is asking, what's the latest launch from MSI with a refresh rate of 144 or 165 Hertz?
Well, for that, it's best that you just go to our website. We have like tons of new models, but I would recommend you to specifically look at like the 27-inch lineups, because there we have like several options for what you just mentioned. And if you prefer to have a size bigger, you can also take a look at the same lineup, but then like a size bigger to 32-inch. So our MAG301CR something, so 27.3 CQR, which is curved Quad HD RGB, or you can go to like the 32-inch 32.2 CQR, which is essentially the same model but a size bigger. And there you can find all the 144 and 165 Hz models that we just recently released for you. Well, of course,
also if you prefer a flat panel,
not now.
Then yeah, if you prefer a flat panel, there are also several options there. So take a look at our website, and there you can find many different options for these kind of refresh rates.
Crystal, don't worry, appreciate the question. Anything else for now? So, all right, good.
Yoni's asking, don't most people use 144 Hertz monitors? More and more gamers are using high refresh rate monitors, so basically 100 Hertz or higher. That's what we usually call high refresh rate monitors. But especially like for office usage, it doesn't really make sense to go for a very high refresh rate monitors. There you want color accuracy, which is way more important than refresh rate for those kind of use cases. So in general, not most people use 144 Hertz monitors, but more and more gamers start using this because that's where it really benefits to have high refresh rate.
Yeah. All right, so continuing, the last thing that I want to talk about for the specifications is that, this monitor is also, it also has like a wide color gamut. So it covers like around 98% of Adobe RGB, so that's like 130% of sRGB. It's quite high.
I see Eric already fixed the problem with the giveaway. So how much should now have his prize from the giveaway a couple of weeks ago. Okay, good. Thanks for fixing it, Eric, and hashtag blame Eric indeed for making the mistake in the first place. But
no worries there, guys. Now. Yeah, so yeah, see, you have a problem, we always solve it. Yeah, so for now,
at least.
Yeah, we always try. We do our best. Sometimes it doesn't work, but usually it does. Okay, so that's for the PowerPoint part, I guess. So yeah, we're done with that. Yay. Continuing,
Zentix is saying on YouTube, your hardware has to match your hertz. For example, 60 hertz and your game is maxed out at 200 FPS will result in tearing. You should always match your FPS to your hertz. That's not necessarily true. For example, if you want to have, even if you have a 60 hertz monitor, in competitive titles, you want to have your input as soon as possible, even if that causes tearing. So even on a 60 hertz screen, if you play a game like Quake, Rocket League, Counter-Strike, or other fast movement titles, then I would always recommend to go for the maximum FPS possible if you're playing it for competitive reasons, let's say. If you want to get the best experience like immersively, then yes, then you want to minimize tearing. But then I would recommend preferably to use adaptive sync like G-Sync, G-Sync compatible, or FreeSync. But if you don't have that available, and if the input delay doesn't matter, then you can also choose to switch on V-Sync, because that will also eliminate tearing, but it will introduce a little bit of input lag. So it really depends on what kind of game you play. Yeah. But like for competitive titles, I would recommend max out.
I'm gonna plug in the monitor.
I think that's also a very good time to remind our viewers of our giveaway and draw another winner. So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. Our bot will also spam a direct link to the Gleam giveaway in the chat. If you already participated, no need to do anything. You will be automatically included in the following drawings. And our next winner of today's giveaway is Jessica Jones. Congratulations. You also won one of the $20 Steam wallet codes. We will email it to you in the coming days. Thank you for participating, and congratulations with the code. I hope you get something really nice with it. So I see Ja is connecting the monitor right now.
Yeah, I'm still connecting the monitor.
Let me just remove this. Oh, there we go. Let me go back to chat if we have any questions. Repoman is saying you should buy a monitor based on your needs. For me, I only have bedroom, so I have a 42-inch TV as my computer monitor, so I can switch to my TV and game console very easily. Yeah, if you only have the space for one, that's definitely true. But for example, if you like competitive titles, if you want to play competitive Counter-Strike, stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend playing that on a 42-inch TV. Especially most TVs have, they suffer from a little bit of input lag compared to regular monitors, because they have more image processing going on inside of the device. So usually for gaming, a regular monitor will beat out a television in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yoni is saying I use a 120 hertz monitor. That's enough for me because I'm on a gaming laptop. Yes, if your gaming laptop can get maximum of 120 frames per second in most games, then there is no need to go higher refresh rate because you will not benefit from it. Let me see. Edwin on Air is asking, so the 1080 Ti is in between the 5700 XT and 1660 Ti. Later on, we actually have some benchmarks of Doom Eternal, the game we're going to play later in the live stream. So there you can see how it compares to the 5700 XT and 1660 Ti in that specific game. Jorge, I think you pronounce it, is saying, any info on the Sakura 100R?
You came to the right place.
Yeah, depending on what info you're looking for. So let me know. I can see if I can answer it. If it's about availability, that's of course a little bit difficult now with the coronavirus situation, because availability questions are really hard to answer right now. Mr. Mestrak saying TV has input lag. Yeah, dependent on the model, it can be very bad. Some TVs are okay-ish at it, but for competitive gaming, I'd definitely recommend a monitor over a TV. Let me see. Repo is saying I don't run competitive game. Yeah, then it should be fine. If you're not playing any competitive titles, then you won't suffer that much from input lag. So then you should be good to go. Yoni is saying my laptop has RTX 2060s. I can get more than 100 hertz in like CSGO. Yeah, for those kind of titles, then you would benefit from a monitor with more than 120 hertz. But 120 hertz it's still not bad at all, I would say. Like 60, I wouldn't recommend for shooter games. 120 hertz I think it's quite okay. Of course, the higher the better, but like especially like from 120 to 144, it will be a minor difference. So if you would upgrade, then it would only make sense if you would go, for example, to 200 or 240 hertz. Edwin K is saying, is there a stream coming with optimal game settings to get quality and highest frame rate? Interesting idea. I think we can definitely look into that. But of course, it's a little bit difficult. Like, what titles would you do? Like, maybe we could do a couple of competitive titles to look at to see if we can find the sweet spot for the settings. I like the idea, so we'll definitely look into that. Mr. Mestrock saying anyone can get 120 hertz in CSGO. Yeah, CSGO is not a very demanding title, so most systems are definitely able to get more than 120 frames per second in CSGO.
Yeah, especially if you play down the settings, because they're really not important or relevant in CSGO. Okay, so all right, let's continue.
Halma still having problems with this game code, so maybe Eric in the background can look at it to see if he can solve it, because I cannot do that from here. And when K is asking, my monitor gets on low resolution 75 hertz, is that enough? It really depends on what you do on it. Like for certain game titles like NO 1800, I wouldn't mind playing on 75 hertz. For Rocket League, for example, I would hate to play on 75 hertz because I'm used to 165 personally. So yeah, it depends on what you do. For fast games, I would say 75 hertz is very much on the low end. But for slower strategy games, for example, it doesn't matter that much. Yoni is asking, when do you start attracting if you start going over your refresh limit? Like, how big of a difference must your frame surpass your hertz? It's not specifically that it has to surpass your hertz, but and it will introduce tearing if you're not using VSync or adaptive sync, and your frame rate is a lot higher than your refresh rate. But as soon as the frame is available, it will already start showing at least segments of it. So in some situations, it can result in seeing your enemy slightly faster, even on a 60 hertz monitor. And I would always max it out in competitive titles. So put it as high as you can get. Yeah, so that was it for the questions for now. So back to Ja.
Well, I guess we're really do our best answering every single question, huh? But the stream gotta pick on. So we talked about setting up FreeSync and G-Sync. There were questions regarding how would this work. It's actually really simple. So first of all, if we switch the view, let me just show you with the camera here. With this model, what you need to do to first turn on FreeSync. So let's put it this here so you can see, changing the view right now to our detailed camera. And if Mike can change the camera view,
definitely I can.
That will be good. So on the back side there is a joystick, so this activates the on-screen display. Well, you can do this too by using our software. So with our gaming OSD software, you can also do it. So it's your own preference, but personally, I'll prefer to use the software instead of this, because then you don't have to reach behind your monitor. But in case you want to see where it is on the OSD, you just have to click to open the OSD and then go to gaming, and then if you scroll up, the first option is FreeSync, and there you have it. You can turn it on. So once you make sure that your FreeSync is on, you need to go to your G-Sync experience, or G-Sync control panel rather, and there, because this option is going to be invisible. It's not going to be there if you don't have your adaptive syncing technology, in this case FreeSync, turned on. So this will not be even here. So once you have turned on your FreeSync, it's going to pop up here. And once you click on set up a G-Sync, you just have to set up enable G-Sync, comma G-Sync compatible, and then whatever mode it is that you prefer, just stick to full screen mode. Then you press apply, and see, it's really that easy. So it's not going to be a complicated process, and that's it. So then, depending on what kind of model that you have, this might or might not work, because obviously, yeah, there are certified monitors that were tested intensively to pass, the compatibility. But it turned out that if some models which were not certified or officially tested, they can still work. Might not work the best as the certified models, but sometimes it can still work. So in this case, we actually had like a little beforehand testing, and it seemed like that the syncing here works quite good. So
and the thing also is, like, even nowadays with the new G-Sync compatible option in the NVIDIA drivers, you don't necessarily need to have a G-Sync compatible certified monitor to be able to enable this setting. So if you have a FreeSync monitor, you can just try it out, switch it on. If it works well, you're lucky. If it doesn't work well, you're unlucky, and then better switch it back off again. But definitely, if you have a FreeSync monitor, I would always suggest try it out, see if it works, and maybe you get lucky. Dennis is saying, I'm on a 60 Hz TN 24-inch monitor, 1080p. I get 230 FPS max settings average in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Same for a new monitor. Would ultra-wide be bottlenecking, or better to go for 1440p 16:9? Well, it depends, of course, on which ultra-wide model you would get, because the model we're looking at right now, the MAG301CR, has a resolution of 2560 by 1080. So that will actually be easier on your graphics card compared to a regular 2560 x 1440 monitor. If you, however, compare it to an ultra-wide 1440p monitor, which has a resolution of 3440 x 1440, that will be even heavier on your graphics card. So this monitor will actually be lighter on your graphics card than a regular 1440p monitor. Yeah. But it will be slightly heavier compared to the monitor you have right now, which is a regular 1080p monitor.
Yeah, so like we explained, you can expect like a 33% increase in performance need compared to your regular 1080p. Okay, yeah, so that was setting up FreeSync and G-Sync. It's quite easy. And
so Dennis is saying he's now running 230 FPS and he's aiming for 144. So yeah, then you should be good with your current setup. That's something you would be able to achieve on this monitor, for example.
So now let me open Gaming OSD, which I talked to you guys about, because this one really gives you the flexibility of many things that you want to adjust regarding your monitors. You can even use your mobile app, because this one can also be downloaded. But so now with this, you don't always have to reach, well, never actually reach your the backside of your monitor in order to do anything, because here you have all the options available that you want to change regarding your monitor. So on the left side, for example, there are like presets. So with a specific tailored specifications for your monitor for a specific kind of scenario. So FPS, first-person shooting, or some racing scenario, gaming. So for a lot of stuff, there are already presets. So if you don't want to dive into tailor making everything yourself, just use the presets. But if you're into really creating stuff that's like customized and up to your liking 100%, then you can just click on the little plus right here, here. And then you can create a new profile. So you can give it a name, like if you like to play Call of Duty Warzone a lot right now, you need to set up specific settings for that game in order to have a little bit of competitive advantage compared to your enemies. Just click on this, and then you can tailor make, well, just choose whatever setting it is that's good for you. So if you think like having more contrast is going to help you with that game, you can turn up your contrast. So in case it's a bit small for you guys to see, I'm going to enhance this a little bit. So here you can overdriving your response time, you can set it to fastest, but
yeah, so this is where we talked about earlier. For example, if you are making a profile for a competitive game, you could increase your overdrive a little bit, because overshoot is not as much as a problem there, because you don't need really accurate colors or anything. If you want to do image or video editing, there of course you don't want overshoot, because you want that accurate representation of what you're sending to your monitor, and there you don't need the response times, so there you could set it to normal, for example, which switches the overdrive function of your monitor off essentially.
Yeah, so here you have the option right here at the main overview. So it's really easy to just choose anything that you want. And yeah, so if you always want to have the overdrive active, you know, for Call of Duty, then this kind of profile really makes sense. So you don't have to change it every time you use something else. And there's so many more options for you to explore. You know, they're also going to be very personal, preference dependent. Some people like to have image enhancements to have, you know, stronger edges and stuff like that. And you know, color temperature, one might prefer warm or cool or customized. So you really have to see, you know, what kind of setting is going to be, you know, up to your liking. And earlier when I mentioned night vision, this is also where you can use it. So here you have night vision, and you can turn it on or off. Turn it to strong, you know, AI to let it detect automatically, be intelligent about this whole thing. And you can also, I'll show you in just a minute how you can set a macro key. So when you want to use this specific kind of settings, that you don't have to even, you know, open the app and see what you have to change or where you have to go. You can set up the macro keys for that, or show the hotkeys. So yeah, tons of stuff right here. And as you can see here, we also have the eye saver. And actually, when I click on this stuff, you don't see much changing. That's because the monitor is like hardware. It's changing its hardware side, so we can't capture that. So I can show you, for example, on the detailed canvas of ours, if I change some specific settings, how stuff will change. So for example, here, if I click on eye saver, you see, let me put it closer. It really changes the color temperature to much more yellow. So it takes out the blue in this. And yeah, if you're using the monitor at night and you're not really intensively like gaming and stuff like that, you just you know, trying to entertain yourself, stuff like that, you know, put on the eye saver, save yourself some eye restraint, and have a good night's sleep instead of having your circadian rhythm disturbed. So yeah, many of these kind of settings are all right here in this overview that's easily accessed once you open the app. It's right there. And Screen Assistant is something that's going to give you, for example, let me just show you. If I choose like a specific type of crosshair and I click on Start, you see here, let me minimize this. There is actually like an overlay over your screen. So no matter what you open, this is always going to be on top. So in specific type of games where your crosshair is not visible because you're using a specific type of guns like sniper or stuff like that, well, now you do have a crosshair on your screen. So here, yeah, you can have this kind of, well, edge over your enemy. Well, that's the wrong one. To, you know, really help yourself perform better.
And you can actually not capture this. Like you can see here, you don't see the crosshair right now, which also means that because you're not making a software tweak, games can also not detect it. So you don't have to worry about any cheat. Of course, if it's ethically correct, you have to decide it for yourself if you want to use it or not. But you have the option right there, and it's not that you have to install anything additional for it. You can actually do it on the monitor itself as well. You can use the gaming OSD for it, but it only happens on the monitor. That's also why you don't see it in the current capture right now.
Yes, so yeah, there are many kinds of crosshair that you can use, up to you whether you want to or not. And then if we go to here, for example, split windows, well, let me turn off the screen assistance first. Stop. So
you were still looking at the crosshair?
Yeah, because I can still see it. You guys can see it, but I still can see it. Okay. So screen split window is something that's going to be really useful if you're like not gaming and you're just trying to entertain yourself. You know, you're multitasking a little bit and you have a lot of windows open, and this way you can just put everything like prearranged into a specific kind of order that you can choose from, like on the left side here. And once you have chosen a specific type of form, you just click on specific windows and then click on apply, and everything is going to be applied. Like if I try like this one and I go for this folder, the store and downloads, and then I click on apply, you can see everything gets prearranged right away. So yeah, if you're multitasking, maybe you're doing some editing, you have like libraries and the browser open on the right side and your program on the left side. Yeah, in this kind of use cases, yeah, it's going to be quite handy to have it anyways, because it's just there.
We have a question in chat on Twitch from Max Bunny. With the OSD, can you use it to change inputs? Like if you have a PC and a switch on one monitor on, for example, HDMI 1 and HDMI 2?
Yeah, you can, definitely. But you know, it also depends on what you want to do. If you are like somewhere inside a program or something like that, and you don't want to open the app, you can just go to the joystick and then just like right-click.
With the regular OSD.
Yeah,
yeah, and the gaming OSD is only available for your computer. So if you want to switch from your Switch, ironically, if you want to switch input, if you're using your Nintendo Switch and you want to go back to your PC, of course you cannot do that with the gaming OSD software, because that's only available for Windows. So there you will have to do it with the hardware button on the back. So with the regular OSD. Let me see. Crystal is asking, which differences are gaming with G-Sync and without? Is it about the performance? Yeah, so G-Sync and FreeSync, both of them, what they essentially do is sync your refresh rate of your monitor with the frame rate of your PC. So that will give you a smoother experience. Repo Man is saying, 53 people watching right now. I guess we're not following the no gatherings of more than 50 people guideline. I think the 53 is only on YouTube because we're on multiple platforms. So there's actually way more people watching right now, but digitally, that should be okay.
And here you have a window that's dedicated to a macro key that's like physically present on the monitor, which is, as this little image shows, it's right here on your monitor. If you press that, you can choose to you know, assign a specific kind of function to it. For example, do a split window function, or switch input source, or switch night vision mode on and off. So like I said, you know, you don't have to open the app to use specific kind of options or functions. So here, if you want to have night vision available whenever you want to, you can just with one click of the button like this right here on your monitor, you have it like switched on and off. And if this isn't enough for you, you can also go to like here settings. Within the settings part, there's going to be the hotkeys tab. So first, yeah, the system setting. Here you have like all your input sources, and you know, you can set up when the OSD times out. Many options here that you can play around with. And here, hotkey. This is the more important part. Here you can set up, for example, like brightness. First, you have to enable it. So let me, if you can really see it clearly, here's the enable button. Well, depending on when you're going to purchase the monitor, the software interface might change, so it might be improved, stuff like that, because of updates. But here, for example, you can tailor make what kind of brightness the hotkey will, what kind of hotkey will change your brightness, you know, what kind of hotkey will change your input source, etc., etc. You can assign dedicated profiles that you created earlier to a specific kind of hotkeys. So here, as you can see, many options that you can choose from. This is all just to give you more convenience when using your monitor, to get more value out of your monitor. So that's why we have this kind of gaming OSD apps with all of our gaming monitors. So here earlier at the beginning, I believe I mentioned that when you use your joystick on the back of the monitor, each direction has its own function. So here you can also choose, if you press upwards, what is it going to do? Do you prefer to have your alarm clock set on your monitor? Hey, you don't want to burn your pizza, you don't want to look at your phone all the time, you can do it here. You can change input source. So someone asked about this earlier, and yeah, every function, every direction, and the center, except for center, sorry, every direction can be changed to whatever it is that you like. Yeah, so a lot of stuff here that you can do with the Gaming OSD app. So, and the last thing I guess that I want to mention regarding this is that if you don't care about all of this, well, there is still the Mystic Light function that's going to be also included in here. So I actually still have like the early version of the app, so it doesn't really completely represent how it's going to be like once the whole product is released and launched and being sold, because the software is going to differ a little bit. So for example, here we have the Mystic Light app. Well, we can also use Dragon Center for this. So this is like the dedicated version of the app for Mystic Light, but Mystic Light is also included in our all-in-one Dragon Center app, which you can also make use of. But here you can click on the monitor, for example, and you see that, well, this is not the backside of this monitor, but like I said, you know, this is like still the early version. So later there will be the right representation of the monitor here, but the rest is still going to be the same. So you can choose, you know, the lighting speed, you can choose how bright it is, you can choose what kind of you know, presets that you prefer. There are many pages with presets, so here you can tailor make your Mystic Light on the backside of your monitor, so the ring on the backside. So yeah, many software options that you have with a gaming monitor, and there's just tons of stuff that you can do and customize to make this monitor feel more like you, for your you know, specific kind of uses, for specific kind of games. So everywhere you can kind of like, you know, make the most out of the monitor. So yeah, that's how we try to give you more value with hardware, by providing you with a better software experience. And let's see, did I miss anything in the chat in the meantime?
See, Yoni was asking, so is VSync the worst out of the three then? Like if you would compare the different sync options, so VSync, FreeSync, and G-Sync, then definitely FreeSync and G-Sync are the recommended options, because VSync will give you significantly more input lag. And it's not a problem for every kind of game, but for some, especially faster paced games, you want to reduce input lag to an absolute minimum. So then you will be way better off with either FreeSync for AMD or G-Sync on NVIDIA. So yes, if you have the option for FreeSync and G-Sync, definitely choose them over VSync. Iraqi Warfare is asking how to make your own crosshair for games. I don't think you can, in the gaming OSD, you can create your own crosshair, but there are quite a few options for different presets, and I think you can adjust color and size, right?
Yeah, let me just open it up to see it. Oh, not this one. So yeah, you have the option to you know, be a little bit flexible. You can choose the location. You can adjust, you know, like with here, you can adjust how this will be represented. So let me just show you with an example.
Let me switch to the close-up cam so people can actually see the crosshair.
So here you have the presets, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 options. You have red and white and different kind of well, forms, so to speak, and you can adjust, you know, the location of it. And so with this kind of options, you have to find out, you know, which one suits you best. So no, you cannot, unfortunately, yet make up your own crosshairs, because you have to work with the presets that's available, or that are available right here. All right. So I did notice, you know, there were some people talking about sizes and stuff like that. And something else that I want to show you that might be quite might make the case more clear as to, you know, this kind. You don't really see this kind of ratio, aspect ratio and size combination often. So let me just give you a better overview before I dive into Doom Eternal. That's the last thing that I want to present to you guys. So if I like take our flat IPS monitor, which is our eSport monitor, if I take this up right here and compare, because this one is like the 24.5, so 25 inches size monitor, and if I compare this with this one, let me put the keyboard aside a bit. So if we, like, for example, switch to the top view, you can see just how much wider this actually is if we compare them.
Yoni is asking, I have the MSI GL759SEK, but not sure if I have sync or FreeSync with 120 Hz refresh rate. I don't think the notebook itself has a sync option other than VSync, which you can use on any monitor. But I believe, I'm not 100% sure of it, but I believe because it has an NVIDIA graphics card and a DisplayPort output, that you can use it with G-Sync if you connect a monitor to your notebook, a G-Sync monitor or G-Sync compatible monitor, that is. So I think you can do that, but not on the notebook itself.
All right.
Let me see if we have some more questions.
Yeah. In the meantime, I think Mike can switch the view to the top view so people can see the difference in size while we see what questions we missed.
Koen is asking, can I ask something in Dutch? It's hard to ask in English. You can, of course, try. I will try to translate it. So...
Mike, can you switch the view to the top
I'm
one?
sorry. I can definitely do that. I was reading some questions.
So while we're busy with the chat, let me just show you. If I put up the 25-inch monitor right in front of the monitor, about the 30-inch ultra-wide 1080p on, you can see if I line up this side, this much size is being gained. So right here. So vertically they're the same, but it's really you know, the horizontal part where the difference make the extra screen real estate comes from. And also, before I forget this part, the curvature. So if I turn this more to the camera, you can see. So this one is obviously flat, and you can see just how much curvature there is to this model. As here you can see there's quite some space, and at the end there's like practically no space left. There's like a space of just a little bit bigger than like a finger, and here there's like 3 finger distance. So this is how much 1500R will be looking like. And the good thing about curvature is that the wider your screen is, the more you're going to benefit from the curvature, because the more immersion there will be. So in this case, with the 30-inch ultra-wide 1080p version, no, the curvature really makes more sense compared to the regular 16:9. Though in those cases, you know, it's still really good, but it's just that here now you can get more out of it. So what did Gun ask, Michiel, Mikey?
Let me see. I have a B450 motherboard from MSI with MSI Mystic Light. Now I have the 1660 Super Gaming X graphics card. Should I use both Mystic Light and Dragon Center, or can I use one of the programs?
Dragon Center.
I think at the moment, depending on the B450 motherboard, might not be compatible with Dragon Center yet, but we're actually working on it right now. So we also have motherboards from before we started with Dragon Center to make them compatible with Dragon Center. So we're actually working on this to make Dragon Center compatible with products that were released before we introduced Dragon Center. So I'm afraid right now, I think you have to use Mystic Light for the motherboard and Dragon Center for the graphics card. But I hope in the near future you can use both with Dragon Center.
Definitely something we strive to.
Yeah.
Just, let's see. Okay. I think it's definitely time to dive into the chaos of Doom Eternal and see how I'm going to enjoy this with the ultra wide, because it's going to be the first time using this
Going to shoot some
little
monsters.
beast. Monsters, aliens, zombie aliens. I think a lot of different kind of priorities. So many choices to choose from. So all right. But before that, let me briefly tell you about what system we're going to use today. So earlier, we did show you some statistics, well, some graphs regarding what kind of performance from the GPU you will need with this kind of size and ratio. So now we're going to use the Infinite X, which is the the i7-9700K with 2070 version, so RTX 2070. So for the Infinite X, we have different configurations. It goes all the way up to i9-9900K and 2080 Ti combination. So that's like really the top of the top line gaming monitor, monitor, the gaming desktop that we currently have in the lineup. The same for the Trident X, but it's a different form factor. So that's the system I'm going to use for today. We don't really need to maximize, the hardware part, because this game is really well optimized. I'm going to show you this later, just what kind of performance this game, what you can expect from it. And so yeah, let's get going. So just a few more slides left just to show you the gaming performance, and then we can finally get into the game, guys.
So I have a question. Is your website about Mystic Light sync compatibility up to date or not? We are constantly adding new products from other vendors that have Mystic Light sync compatible products to our website. But of course, this happens with a certain interval. So sometimes you have like extremely recent products from other vendors that are compatible with Mystic Light sync. But you have to wait for the interval before it also shows up on our Mystic Light Sync website. So it is possible that sometimes you will see a very new product from a certain vendor that is compatible, but it's not on the website yet. We try to keep it up to date as much as possible, of course, but other vendors are constantly introducing new products that are compatible with Mystic Light Sync. So there's always a slight mismatch in there, whether or not it's on the website already. Edwin K is saying age warning, definitely, because the gore in Doom Eternal is pretty insane. Oh boy, yeah, I saw a little bit of footage. I haven't played it myself yet, but I saw a little bit of footage about the glory kills.
It's mind boggling how much blood you can see.
Yeah.
How many body parts?
For the viewers who are too young, now close your eyes because you're probably not allowed to watch this.
Put your hand like in front of your eyes and then slowly, create a hole, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just quickly go through this, see what kind of performance Doom will have on your hardware. Well, what kind of hardware will give you what kind of performance. So
Landis is saying
just a few more
MSI...
slides. If Mikey can change the view.
Yeah, one more question. My MSI
really
Infinite X graphics
the quiz master.
card is... Yeah, definitely. Want to answer as much questions as possible. It's overheating. Can I turn it and have the fans of the graphics card down? Well, out-of-the-box design should be okay in terms of temperature, so make sure you don't have another issue. And if the issue is still there, also consider to turn it in for RMA, because it might be a different issue that's not solved by turning it upside down, because the initial design should be perfectly fine to cool your GPU there. Let me go there. I want the PPT, right?
Yes.
Doom Eternal slides.
Yeah.
I already see some questions in chat about this. How much more GPU power do you need for widescreen?
Yeah, so let me just take an example. Here we have like a whole list of text box did like really an extensive test on this for all the GPUs out there. Let me just take a look at, for example, say the GTX 1070 Ti, so the 8GB version with average of 126 frames per second. So this is for the regular 1080p, so 16:9 ratio and 1920 by 1080p. Now, if we are then looking at this model right here, which is like 2560 by 1080, which is a 21:9 aspect ratio, then if you paid attention earlier, you will know that you will need 33% more performance, well, more performance out of your GPU in order to have the same FPS. So with the 1070 Ti, instead of 126, you will have to take down like 33%. So 33% less FPS. That's what you're going to have with the 1070 Ti with this specific monitor. So that goes for every GPU. Just take down 33% if you're using a regular 1080p monitor, that is. So that's for 1080p. Now this game, as you can see with 1080p here, all the numbers look quite high. You know, considering this is like a AAA title game, you can get like with 1070, like with maxed out settings, close to 120 FPS. So that's quite good. And considering how fast-paced this game is, I think that was really needed. So I think the gaming developers from the Bethesda and ID Software, they did a good job making this game quite well optimized. It's not the best, but it's quite good. If we then take a look at 1440p, of course, a big chunk of the FPS that we just saw just went down in the toilet. I mean, so many more pixels to be rendered right here. And for the same like 1070 Ti, instead of like close to 120, I believe 120, no, yeah, 126. Now you have 89. So, but that's going from 1080p to 1440p maxed out. So quite a difference there. So depending on, you know, what kind of setup you have, if you're interested in this game, you got to consider, you know, what kind of settings you want to play this at. And 4K, well, though this game is quite well optimized, 4K is still going to be too much asked for this game, because you really need the frames here, as this game is really high paced, the movements are really fast. You will see this in just a moment. So yeah, this is you know, the kind of performance that you can expect from this game. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to dive into the game now. All right. So yeah, like I said, our Infinite X is going to be more than capable to handle this game with i7 9700K and our RTX 2070. So we feel quite comfortable to, well, to, you know, try to do my best and really slash and hack and shoot through this chaotic game. And I really noticed that the more I play this, the more energy I'm going to get, and the music in this is just, it always really pumps you up. Let me get
Why do I see the mouse cursor in the middle of your screen?
Oh, hey, that's weird. Let me close some programs. Probably exit. Should be gone now, I hope. Still not. Wait, maybe video settings.
Mr. Masterdox is saying last Doom, GTX 1070 180 frames per second, Doom Eternal 1070 120 FPS. Yeah, it is a little bit more demanding than the previous Doom from 2016, I believe. But Doom Eternal, it looks really good, I think. At least I like the visuals of it.
Yeah, it has this typical Bethesda look. How the textures are being rendered and stuff like that. So I just restarted the game because I didn't get rid of the crosshair on the center of the view for some reason.
Cursor, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it should be.
Yeah, it's gone now. I mean, I'm not sure how many guys of you are into memes, but my lord, like how many like Doom Eternal's memes they were being spammed. It's crazy, like in the last few weeks. But yeah, of course, this is also one of the old titles. many
Does
fans.
Doom Eternal support ray tracing?
No.
I don't know actually. Do you know?
No, this doesn't support ray tracing.
Okay.
Might also have something to do with, you know, the Vulkan engine, the API.
Yoni is saying, are you going to play all settings maxed out?
Yeah, so alright, if you guys are interested into the settings, let me just go to the settings quickly. I have everything maxed out, so Ultra Nightmare is like the highest setting right here. So that's also what I have right here. I didn't change or tune anything because I noticed that, well, it wasn't really needed because the game runs perfectly fine. On the right side, you can see all the details regarding how the hardware is being utilized and what kind of FPS is being cranked out. So
also, let me pull up the specs so people know what we're actually playing on. So I'm disappearing for a second, and then you can see the specifications of the computer Jai is currently playing at.
Yeah. And this, man, this game is really gory. It's so much gore and body parts. I mean, I've always known Doom, but I never really played it personally. But now getting into this game, I can see, you know, why people really like it. It really has its own perks. You know, the weapon looks really good, the visuals, they're great, and the sounds are really good. It's really immersive. And it's really, it has its own sort of, say, play styles, you know, its own settings when it comes to, you know, upgrading your guns, really its own way of what kind of abilities you have and how you really go through the games, the levels, like you really, you know, the way you want it. So here, for example, I can choose to get like a sticky bombs or fouled out, because right now I have like fouled out. This makes your gun to shoot like automatically instead of a semi-auto. Or you can also choose to shoot like semi-auto, but then every time you shoot like a sticky bomb. So here I can unlock this and try this. So here, you know, he will give me like a little box, and that box will sort of be my upgrade.
Some question in chat. Yeah, Maris, I try to answer as many questions as possible, but we're on different platforms, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep up. Maris is asking, does it have a connection with Doom 1?
I can't say for sure actually, because I never really played Doom 1.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Sorry about that.
Doom 1 is a long time ago, so there are quite some differences in between them. I would say like the idea of Doom has never really changed, but the visuals and the mechanics of course did.
Are you seeing
what
this?
Jad just did was the glory kill, for example, and those are pretty intense in the in this version of Doom.
Look at the explosions. Look at him just exploding. Man, I mean, this is really, if you have like anger management issues, like this is the game to play, okay guys? And as you can see, I'm really comfortable right now, sitting at like, at this moment, between 120 and 160 frames per second. Just smash his head, like no problem. Again.
The core in this game is so extreme.
Just look at this.
Those glory kills.
Look at,
you also need the glory
attacked.
kills for health, right?
Yeah. He just like, yeah, look at this, man. Time for my chainsaw. I believe I still have, no, that's okay, this is my only weapon for now. I need to get more. So when you stun a enemy, it will like flash, and then you can press E, you'll perform like a kill deadly attack, like a special attack or sword. It's really fun. The more you progress in the game, the more you will unlock. I believe I have to go to this side. No, that's a no, the other side.
We have a question in chat by Yoni. How much VRAM do you need for all maxed out settings for a graphics card? Of course, it depends very much on your resolution, but I think in the settings menu you can, maybe you can see it, yeah. I think it shows
Yeah, what was the question exactly? I didn't.
How much
pay attention.
VRAM you need to have all the settings
VRAM.
maxed out?
Yeah, I'm not sure this
I
one
think it gives
shows
you
the
an
VRAM.
indication.
Let me see, videos.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, on top it does. So for the current settings and this resolution, it's a little under 7 gigs. So.
Yeah, so this is with a 2560 by 1080p, so the resolution of this monitor, and everything just maxed out on Ultra Nightmare. So still less than 7 gig of VRAM.
Yeah, so that would result in an 8 gigabyte graphics card for this resolution at least. Of course, that differs when you're using a regular Full HD monitor, and it will increase if you go, for example, to 1440p.
Time to dive in. Look at this. Just listen to the music, man. It's just like getting you pumped up. Like you know what's going down. Just mayhem. Cross these legs, no problem. Explosions, split body, no problem. Split windows, better split body.
MSI fanboy is saying I have to wash my eyes after this stream. Flush all the blood out.
Oh, I'm out of health. Gotta run. There's way too many enemies to kill, and I'm out of ammo.
Let me see. Eagle Bear is asking, what's the software for the overlay that you're using right now?
I'm not sure what he means with that. Oh, you mean the overlay on the right side? That's actually the in-game option.
Yeah, so no separate software for that.
But generally, if I didn't have this in-game, I would definitely be using our MSI Afterburner software. That one will also give you you do have to install Riva Tuner when it asks you to. That way you can also have like detailed CPU, RAM, GPU usage, with temperature, average FPS, max, minimum, everything you can think of. So yeah, there is a software for that, definitely. So that's called the MSI Afterburner.
Swish Pro Noob is saying it says 8.2 on top. Yeah, that's the available VRAM on the graphics card, which is a RTX 2070, I believe, right now.
Yeah, RTX 2070. Ooh. Ouch. So, do you guys see what I mean with this game is really fast paced? I mean, the standard walking speed is running. I mean, this game doesn't even have a running option. You're just constantly running at max.
Some people are saying lag. Yeah, we do have some frame drops in the stream. So that can be causing lag. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but it does drop some frames.
Oof. Ow. Oh, we're having a fist fight. All right, let's go. Okay, bullets.
No, it's not the capture card, Mr. Master Dice. It's dropping frames. I think we have like a problem with our upload or something, or maybe the service we're using to stream.
Okay,
we have to look into what the exact problem is of that.
Ooh, new gun. Yes. Ooh.
So even if the stream lags, you can still see in the top right what the current frame is.
Looks like there's going to be more body parts flying. So with tab, you can see the places that you have gone to and places that are still unexplored. As this game looks so chaotic and uneven, it can be, yeah, a little bit of confusing when you're going through the level. But it helps when they always get you like a marker of where you have to go. Like, do you guys know like Leroy Jenkins? This is like how I feel like right now. Just bash in and just smash everything and shoot everything. Ooh. It's getting more like a Mortal Kombat style. Oof, that's like a sticky nade. Chainsaw, let's go.
Repo Man is saying too much gore. I don't think there is such thing in Doom as too much gore.
You know what the developers of Doom were like talking about? They were like, how much gore do you want, developers? You know, the board of directors were just like, yes, yes, yes. Oof. Okay, let's try a different gun now. This is like machine gun, it's just non-stop spammable. It kind of reminds me of like just surviving waves. This is like kind of how it feels like.
Yeah, it does seems like your game is lagging more than we are. So can you maybe check your NDI capturing?
Oh, I see.
Maybe cap your frame rate?
Let me change some settings.
Because in the top right, your frame rate looks fine, but capturing seems like...
This problem should be solved once I cap my refresh, frame rate. So let's see where that option is. Resolution, scaling, target.
Sometimes
FPS.
our capture method has a little bit of trouble with very high frame rates. So maybe that's the problem. See if we can solve it.
Let me see. Well, this was fine, I guess, before the live stream, but technology. Let me see. Well, I'm afraid that can't really change it or cap it at least. Maybe somewhere else. Gameplay, herplenty, calculator tutorial, in-game tips, powering demons, weapons, accessibility. Nope.
Mr. Masterdog saying, told you capture card is doomed. We're not actually using a capture card. We're capturing this over the network. So I think that's where the issue is.
Yeah, but to Mr. Masterdog's credits, we did switch to NDI because usually the card was doomed.
Yeah, capture cards and especially resolution changes, or even capturing an ultra wide is also an issue because capture card can only do 16:9.
Well, the only thing that's like remotely close to capping is resolution scaling target FPS. But that's for resolution scaling, because if I target FPS at like 400, it's going to look ridiculous. But maybe it still helps. Let's see. That's a no. Okay, something else then. Ooh, this is a difficult one.
You can just switch VSync on for now. It will give you a little bit of input lag, but it will probably give you much better performance so people can at least see.
Yeah, I can try that because I cannot see any changes in game. So maybe here this is like the last. No, but this accessibility wouldn't make any sense. Milestone, Railstone, no. All right, let me go to FreeSync. Maybe that's going to help. Just to be sure, let me check my G-Sync settings too. Oh, don't we love troubleshooting? Okay, come on, refresh. There it is. Let me turn it off. Apply. It will be weird because I'm not seeing any problems on my screen. So
no, the capturing is
yeah,
being overloaded somehow.
It's just the GPU. I think is just not. It doesn't have enough room, I think, right now to and give me the most FPS and stream at 60 frames per second at the same time. Okay, freezing off now. Let's see if this helps. Let me turn back to the original setting. This video. Target FPS 60. Oh, it's not even working anymore now.
You crashed the game?
No, the game works, but it's not being captured.
Interesting.
Let's see. Let me just. I think NDI crashed. Okay, let me just reboot NDI. Maybe you can try to re-add NDI. I've restarted it from my end.
It should be automatically restart here as well then. Yeah. Okay, we're back on.
The moment of truth. Hey, much better, right?
Looks okay for now.
Yeah, let me turn the settings down. So guys, just to clarify, I'm only lowering the setting to see if this makes a difference for you guys. So if it's going to look smoother or not.
Mr. Master saying CPU seems to be the issue, goes to 100%, meaning it's like to be the bottleneck. I don't think it goes to 100% on all cores very often, so it should be okay-ish.
This looks pretty good, right?
Let me check. Yeah, it seems fine for me. Let us know in the chat if it looks better for you now.
Yes. I like the sticky bomb. It's really good.
What is saying? Hey MSI, can you see my
ammo.
comment? Which comment exactly? So I don't see any other messages apart from this one. Mr. Mestok saying it did earlier. I think only when Jad tapped out, usually not inside the game.
I can climb a wall. All right.
Yeah, sometimes it does spike to 100%, indeed. So it seems like maybe the capturing puts some too much strain on the CPU.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know the game, this is like an apocalyptic Earth that got invaded by like aliens and stuff, and people are being turned into zombies and monsters and stuff, and I have to kill them and kind of kill the priests because they are kind of leading this kind of contamination. I just killed the first one, so I'm on my way to kill the second priest. It's not the kind of priest that you would expect. It's more like the alien zombie priest kind of, you know, the usual. Oof. All right. Let's see. Time for some chainsaw action. No, chainsaw.
Ahmed is saying something in chat, but it's a language I cannot read nor understand. So try English. Maybe I can answer your question then. Was saying, oh no, I was just asking if you can see my comments so I can ask a question. Yes, I definitely can. I ordered the GC30. Will it work with Android 9 Pie? I'm not 100% sure about that. I think it does work. Peter knows more about this, but I believe you can use it with Android, so it should also work with Android 9 Pie, I believe.
I guess I died. Didn't expect that, but should have seen it coming. Not really.
You died. Really you didn't make enough glory kills to recover your health.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. I tried too hard to do all the glory kills and stuff like that, but I got my ass kicked.
I think the glory kills are really important in this game, like more important than they used to be in the older Doom, because now there are not as many items to pick up from the ground.
How can I die so quickly? How can you get through this chaos without dying?
More glory kills. Hunt them down.
Hell on earth. Alright, alright. I see. More tips. Let's see how does this work.
MSI Fanboy is asking, what's the best MSI product? I think that's based on preference.
Yeah, I mean, some might prefer monitor or motherboard. Some might go for a video card.
I always like ITX motherboard.
I'm obviously gonna go for a monitor, right? Like this one right in front of me. So, no, he's not having a good day. Can I break
so
this?
It very much depends on who you ask.
I think I'm just gonna let me go. Jeez. Whoa, that's a big guy.
Smoke Jaguars is saying, don't forget chainsaw. I think you have to use that a lot in this game.
Yeah, but I think the thing with chainsaw is that my fuel runs out pretty quickly. Okay, come on, I have to start over here again. Okay, gotta be more careful, guys. Oh, they actually blocked the fire. Bye-bye.
Boy saying, I just got a notification from Amazon saying that it will be here today. I thought it was tomorrow, but I got lucky. That's good to hear. So enjoy your GC30. It's a really nice controller. What games are you going to play with it? Only mobile or also on PC?
I'm out of fuel for my chainsaw. It's so unfair, man. My guns, they're not powerful enough for that big spider alien monster dude.
I see some tips in chat, ja. Mr. Masterox is saying chainsaw is good for getting ammo, and Swish Pro Noob is saying the chainsaw reloads over time to one chainsaw fuel thing.
Ah, I see.
And I Am Deadlies is saying on Twitch, might want to try shooting the weak point. Yeah, that's what I also heard. Like, all different types of monsters, they have a certain weak spot. So, for example, if they have like a weapon attached on somewhere on their body, you can usually shoot those off, I believe.
All right, let's try it out.
So I think the spider has like a gun on its back or something. So you might want to try to shoot that off.
It's a necessary step on the path to a brighter tomorrow.
Prima MM is saying hit the antenna, ja. So we have some experienced Doom Eternal players in chat. That's good. So they can give some advice.
I broke his antenna and he's still going at it, man. Holy.
Yeah, but now I believe he's weakened quite a lot.
Finally.
So he cannot attack you that much anymore. Get him,
Teamwork
guy.
is perfect, guys. Thanks.
Good job. See, the tips work.
I'm starting to get a hang of it.
Is it
Poor
train
guy.
station or something?
Or something.
Or subway?
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
subway,
what it used to be. Like, there are two types of gamers out there. One would be, playing this game at max settings, everything maxed out because, to be honest, the game is quite well optimized. So yeah, you can handle it with an average GPU. But then you have like players like Mike who be disabling shadows and texture setting to low,
Minimum
adjusting
settings,
everything.
maximum FPS, and
So the
maximum
set
visibility.
FPS will be, going through the roof.
Yep.
I'm guessing with this kind of game, I would lean towards FPS than image quality because you have seen this how fast-paced this game can be. So I prefer to see as much as I can, especially if I'm gaming with 200 hertz monitor. I want to make use of that 200 hertz. I'm not satisfied with just 100 or 110. So, and the lower your setting is, the more FPS you crank out of your GPU, and the more you're going to match your refresh rate. So your monitor's refresh rate. So in this case, 200. So that's preferably, I think I just died. So that's the preferred situation. Oh, come on.
You don't know how to jump?
I did, but I think I'm supposed to grab it somehow. Okay, I missed a double jump. Okay, I'm getting it, I'm
Maybe
getting
chat
it.
has got some advice for you how to.
I got it.
surpass
See, I got it.
Yeah, that's better, that's better.
Like, how do they have unlimited ammo?
I have no idea. I think you have to shoot this guy in the mouth, I believe.
I tried to shoot that blue thing in his mouth,
Yeah,
but
I think that's the weak spot for this monster.
but I guess my weak spot is like my entire body. Because I don't feel like they're aiming
the person
for a
behind
specific.
that monitor.
Very funny, Mike.
Always good to trash talk your colleagues, right? Hey, at least you're lucky we cannot play this 1 versus 1.
Oh my Jesus Lord!
We all know what happened.
How
to
did
Peter
I
and Paul.
die again? Okay, I gotta be more
Megan
careful.
Welt is saying it's because the demons are hacking. That must be true.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Yes, fuel for my chainsaw.
Now get him. And shoot him in his mouth. Here he comes.
I can't chainsaw him. Insufficient ammo.
Ooh. Need more fuel.
I need more
Philippe
everything.
says, grenade in the mouth. So throw it inside his mouth.
All right, let's go for that.
Okay. Seems to work. Good tactics.
Where's the explosion? Wait, what?
Throw another one.
I don't have another one.
Maybe it was an implosion rather than an explosion.
Holy shit! I didn't expect this game to be this difficult. I mean, this is
Twitcher is also saying grenade in mouth on Twitch.
this is
You
like
need to
one of
finish
the
him when it
easiest.
popped.
Ah, I see. When he was flashing, I was wondering if that flash was like the same flash as to when you can do the finishing moves.
But yeah, I think that then you have to make a glory kill on him. I suppose at least. Open the mouth. Yep.
Ah, shit! I missed it.
Ooh. Going down.
I know. You don't have to remind me.
Dragon Wealth is saying, other than this monitor, I think I'm looking forward to the MEG Core Liquid 240R that was at CES. Yeah, in the near future, we will definitely see more about our all-in-one water cooling. We actually already sneak peeked it a little bit in our new AMD Ryzen Threadripper livestream, where we already used the 360mm model. That was not a final product yet, but in the near future, we expect to do a live stream about it. So you're not going to die this round, Jack?
Nope, I finished him,
Nice.
but you missed it.
But is it the last one? Maybe you get more.
No, unfortunately not. But I'm getting better and better. Oh, nice.
Oh,
That was a new one. Like, how many different kind of finishing moves there have been? I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm just waiting for someone to be stunned, and oh, yeah.
One is even more
It's
cruel than the other.
satisfying. Can I finish him? No, I can't reach it. I need some HP, guys.
Need to make more glory kills then. Hunt them down.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, do you know what time it is?
I'm gonna guess it's time for me to whoop ass.
That too?
Oh,
had
he
another
got whooped.
suggestion.
He got whooped. But yeah, of course, I'm always in for a giveaway if that's what you mean.
That's definitely what I mean. So let's draw our next winner.
That sounds good. So, who is the next lucky winner? Let's see.
Currently drawing. So our next winner in the Steam Wallet Code giveaway is Josh. Congratulations. You also won one of the $20 Steam Wallet Code.
Josh. Yeah, hope you're gonna
So we
get
will
something
email
nice
it to
with it.
you in the coming days and make sure to get something really nice of it. If you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. I think Ja will play some more levels and then we can
I think,
pick our final winner for today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue, I think, to dominate a little bit because I'm just getting comfortable, and then
Yeah, so last
go for
chance
today's
to
last
still
giveaway.
take part in the giveaway. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do so. If you already did today, then no need to do anything because you'll automatically be included in the next drawing as well.
All right.
Get him, Ja. You can do it.
Oh,
I
gotta
believe.
run, gotta run, gotta run.
Why run? Fight him. Come on.
I need HP.
Don't
I need
chicken
HP
out.
to fight. I grenaded him. Where's my grenade?
Oh.
That thing
No
has
outside,
like
Ja.
unlimited HP or something, man. I'm gonna call HP hack.
On what mode do you have it? Is it like you have like different difficulties you can set the game to, right?
You know, for my pride, I wish I could say that I have it like on the most difficult nightmare mode, but this is actually the second difficult mode.
So you're playing on easy.
Whatever you call easy, I guess. Sure.
Not even the hardest mode. Still dying.
Come on, I'm shooting his stinger, but he just doesn't break. Okay, you wanna play? You wanna play
Smoke
hard
Jaguar
play?
saying, gotta go back to work. Have fun, guys. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you again next week. Jai just keeps on
Thanks for
dying,
joining,
so I
Smoke.
hope he has fun, but...
Okay. I gotta get serious on this thing, man.
So there are also
Jesus.
some tips and tricks on the screen. Like if you die, it tells you what you should do different, right? But I think this is the right approach. Like shoot the thing off his back.
Where is he? Come on. Oh, wait, why can I use the chainsaw? No fuel? Oh, Jesus. Wait, I'm out of ammo and I'm out of everything.
And you're low on health.
Yeah, I'm gonna need my sticky nade for this. Where's my... Is this my sticky nade? Yes. That's it. Oh, I just blew off his stinger and
he died.
he fired back like with some sort of weird ass like tracking missile. He's not supposed to have that.
Rip. Too bad. Repo
Okay,
Man
now
saying,
at least I
"Lost
know how to kill him."
Internet on my computer, so now on my phone. Good to have you back, Repo Man. Welcome back.
All right, guys, I got this. I know how to kill him now.
People are already spamming F in chat, yeah, on Twitch.
Oh, they're not.
Press F to pay respect.
Okay, I need to find bullets first for my sticky gun. Where is the bullet?
Twitchers are saying, just run at him and shoot this thing. So I think you have to get closer and shoot that thing off his back then.
Yeah, I already broke it. Oh. Oh, go away, go away. Finally. My lord.
Bye, Crystal. See you again next week. Yeah, and Josh indeed won the third giveaway, but we will have another drawing at the end of the stream. So still a chance to win.
Oh, it's so brutal.
If Jack can finally finish his level.
I already did. I'm practically like a god now.
Can you climb like on the thing on the wall?
Yeah, but I don't think you can climb on every wall. And another tip for you guys is, I just thought about it because I was looking at the sites, and this is like the kind of games where you'll benefit from seeing more on your screen, because there's so much going on, so much chaos. You need to be able to be aware of where you're going next, and it really helps to be able to see more on the sides. So if you're like moving around really fast, you'll be able to see, hey, there's an enemy there. I shouldn't go to that side but the other side. So here, you know, playing on the ultra-wide 1080p makes a lot of sense. Oh, I just exploded him again. Look at this, look at this. One try, first try. So yeah, in this kind of games, you know, ultra-wide 1080p, yeah, it's gonna give you quite some benefits. And seeing as, you know, this is a 1080p and not a 1440p model, it's not going to be that heavy on your GPU. Okay, what do I have?
Iron Wild is saying, full auto with the shoddy plus rockets from the machine gun is win. And Swish Pro Noob is saying glory kill for health. Yeah, I believe that's very important in this game. And Zeter Boy is saying, you just made me download this game.
I like, you know, how this is not just a brainless shoot and explode game. You really have to be tactical about what you're doing. Like now, I just failed to get past this little thing because you have to be able to figure out, you know, what you're supposed to do. You gotta be. This is like a little bit of like a puzzle. I think I'm supposed to grab to that thing, grab onto that thing, but I don't seem to be able to grab it.
I think, and then slide down or something.
Like, what does this mean?
I'm not sure. Maybe you can
Yes.
climb upwards.
No, but I can only climb this far. That's it. I have to go somewhere because I have to get up
Iron
here.
Whelp on Twitch is saying Slayer Gates will make you cry. Fair warning. I think Giles already having a hard time now, so that will be interesting for the future months.
What am I supposed to do? Ah, got it. Okay. Oh, can I make it? Can I make it? Made it.
Nice.
But no.
Hey, make it back.
Oh yeah.
Now you're getting better at it.
I told you I'm practically an expert now at this game.
I wouldn't call it practically an expert, but it's
You
getting
know,
better.
with 200 hertz backing me up, can't go wrong, huh? As you can see, you know, finishing enemies left and right, piece of cake.
Can't blame the
Yeah,
monitor,
bump.
at least.
Broke his
Nice.
arm, broke his neck, like it was nothing.
That's rude.
Let me change gun. This one. Yeah. Oh, I knew that didn't look so good. How is he still
Let me
alive?
just throw a grenade in.
This is madness. Just make everything explode.
How are you liking the weapons? Because you quite a variety of different weapons, right?
Yeah. Right now, they're starting to make sense to me because you know, some weapons are meant for specific kind of situations. So yeah, they're starting to make sense to me. At the beginning, you know, it was just really like just shoot, hack and slash, but then, you know, run and shoot. And now it kind of, yeah, they're making sense. So I really like the weapon choices for now. Ah, he was too fast. I missed the grenade. I gotta shoot a sticky bomb into his mouth now.
I think you have to glory kill the other guys and then regain health, and then you can attack him again. Like in between, make glory kills on those dudes instead of shooting them.
I wish it was that easy. Ah! Ooh, almost missed it.
Yeah, look, some health. And now go get him.
I think this is my sticky bomb. Yep, got it.
As I was 30, it's saying you guys make it look so easy. I admire you. Do you think it looks easy when Jab plays do?
I'm sweating on top of my head, man. I'm not sure what you mean with easy. I mean, oof.
It's a nice compliment, but to me it looks pretty difficult.
Wait. Where am I? I'm supposed to. Oh, I see. I'm supposed to climb up. Like, this is the essence of Doom. Quickly move around, stun an enemy, finish him off with a special move, get the benefits, move to the next target.
Whelp is saying scrolling with the mouse wheel will hot swap weapons to save you time.
Oh, I just noticed I can click on my scroll and it will do something.
What does he do?
I think he shot a grenade or some sort.
Maybe you could shoot in his mouth indeed.
Yeah, just did it. Finish him off. But I gotta.
Works.
Ooh.
Oh, painful. It's a brutal way to kill him.
It's a brutal way to go.
In Doom, the brutal way is the only way, right?
Oh, exactly. I'm surprised there are even health kits at the ground.
Why use health kits if you can make glory kills? They're way better to watch.
Oh no. Okay, last time.
Yeah,
Let's see how
last
far
try,
I can get. Last
and
try.
then last giveaway.
Let's see how far I can get.
The last chance to sign up, go to msi.com/2/insider and enter the giveaway. Oh, so this, yeah, it shows how you can shoot the grenade in his mouth in the animation. Okay, Jack, go get him. We believe.
Let's go! Ooh, that's a new one.
Oh, that was rude.
That was a new one.
just wondering, did we put on our age restriction on our streaming platform? I sure hope so when I see
I think it's too late now. I see how I can do this now. This is really good. I like this one. So I have to be in the air in order to finish him off. That wasn't high enough. Open your mouth. Thank you.
It works.
How can I get killed while I was doing my special attack?
Got sandwiched. Okay, time for our last winner, I think.
I tried. But as you can see, guys, this game is brutal. And it's brutally difficult. And this wasn't even like on a high difficulty. Remember that. This was like on the second highest, not on the second difficulty, because it goes all the way up to like Ultra Nightmare. That's like the 7th or the 6th difficulty. This was only the 2nd, I believe. So yeah, you gotta know what you're doing, man, with this game. So even though I had the help of my 200 Hz ultra-wide monitor, well, my skills let me down this time, unfortunately.
They were lacking.
Yeah. So who's the last winner, Mike?
I have our last winner right here, and the nickname is Rakauda, I think. Rakauda, congratulations. You also won a $20 Steam wallet code that will be emailed to you in the coming days. So make sure to buy something nice from it. If you didn't win this time, next week we'll have a new giveaway again. So another time to win.
Definitely. Never give up. So yeah, next week we're going to continue with our monitor madness. We're going to line up a whole bunch of monitors, and well, the topic is going to be, you know, for every monitor, for every gamer out there, we're going to have a fitting model for you. So just like today's, you know, 1080p ultra wide. You know, you might prefer a smaller sized 1440p ultra wide, so this is going to be the fit for you. So next week, you know, we're going to show you all the possibilities that we have for you guys, and you can pick and choose, you know, what fits you best.
So yeah, I'm going to head out. Thanks for having me digitally in the studio.
So Mike out in 3, 2, 1.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. So thanks for hopping by. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed today's live stream. We had some fun with the game. We definitely did. Hope you enjoyed watching. And hope to see you next week too. So thanks for watching, guys.